Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at Mafia, The Don's Promise Was a Lie. This is a story that I wanted to cover for a while because it was such an interesting topic, so let's get started. In 1934 Chicago, the game starts off by giving you a brief tutorial on how to become the new Don of the Italian Mafia. You play as Paolo Trapani, who after the murder of the current Don, becomes the new boss of the family. For example, if you don't give the police any information about the people who bombed the brewery, they will keep attacking your family until you are defeated. But if you do cooperate with the police, then the attacks will stop. There are a ton of these kinds of scenes scattered throughout the game. They help to further the story and show you what the consequences of your actions may be. But you won't be able to do much in the beginning, since most of it is controlled by rival gangs. As you grow your own gang and take out rival gangs, more parts of the city will become accessible to you. Instead, it throws you into the deep end and lets you figure things out on your own. The buildings look nice and detailed, and the character models look realistic. Like I mentioned before, there isn't any voice acting in this game, so the story has to rely on text boxes to move forward. Kind of reminds me of those old adventure games where you had to click on things to make your character talk. The writing isn't bad, but there were a few times where I felt like the writing could have been better. I hope you have a great rest of your day. At one point in the game, you are given an option that says something along the lines of get up and leave or get up and fight. Now, why would I ever pick the option to get up and leave? I mean, come on, I'm the mob boss. I'm supposed to be feared, not respected. Now, the gameplay does suffer a bit from the 2D character models, but overall, I think it looks good. The music and sound effects are also done well. The fifth and final chapter is pretty much just one big battle to see who is the strongest. I do want to spoil too much, so I won't say much, but it definitely feels like a letdown after the fourth chapter. The fourth chapter builds up this epic battle between you and the other bosses, and then the fifth chapter just kind of ruins it all. There is always music playing in the background that sets the mood, and the sound effects really sell the action. It's not nearly as good as Mafia 2 or 3, but it's still enjoyable nonetheless. The premise of the game is fun, and the gameplay is addictive once you understand it. The graphics and sound are also done well. My biggest problem with this game is the story. It's nothing special, and there are a few parts where the writing is just plain bad. Still, it's fun to play through, and the story doesn't ruin the experience. The tutorial in the beginning just teaches you the basics of the game, but from there you are just expected to know everything. There's a lot to learn in this game, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. It took me a while to understand how the loan system worked, and it took my friends even longer to figure out how to recruit men. Luckily, the game does a good job of making sure you have enough money to hire your first few men. Otherwise, it would be nearly impossible to get started. The game gives you a map to help you navigate the city, but it never really tells you where anything is, so it's kind of up to you to find everything. Sometimes there will be arrows pointing you in the direction of something important, but honestly, with a map as simple as this, it's hard to get lost. One thing you will notice right away about this game is that, unlike its predecessors, there isn't any voice acting. Some of these characters can be pretty funny. Like there is one prostitute who keeps asking you to buy her some food because she doesn't want to eat rats anymore. Or there's also this one guy who keeps asking you for money because he lost his dentures and can't eat. Now, these characters aren't just in the game to make it more immersive. They actually serve a purpose. These side quests will earn you money and influence, which can help you expand faster. Most of these quests involve collecting items, killing people, or simply intimidating someone to get what you want. These quests aren't necessary to complete in order to beat the main story, but they do give you an advantage if you choose to do them. The entire city is split up into different sections, and each section will generate a certain amount of money each day. As your territory grows, so does the amount of men you can control. At first, you will only be able to have a small group of men following you around. But as you get more money, you will be able to hire more and more until you have a massive gang under your control. These men can be used to attack rival gangs, defend your own businesses, and extort civilian businesses. Attacks between gangs are usually pretty chaotic. They involve a lot of gunfire and often leave the streets covered in blood. There is something really satisfying about walking down a street and seeing your guys wipe out a rival gang. And once you have complete control of an area, you can place your own guys in the civilian businesses to collect protection money. As the game progresses and you gain more territory, more businesses will become available to you that will generate extra income. This includes breweries, stores, garages, docks, farms, and more. As you can imagine, owning this many businesses will cost you a pretty penny, and you will have to take out loans when you start to expand. If you fail to pay these loans back, the rival families will see it as an opportunity to attack you and take your money. So it's in your best interest to expand wisely. Instead, it relies on text boxes to move the story along. It kind of feels like playing an old adventure game with the point-and-click interface. As this game is part of the Mafia series, it's no surprise that it has a lot of similarities to the original Mafia. After taking over the family, you are introduced to the concept of honor. Honor in this game is what determines if people will respect you or not. If your honor level is too low, they will straight up disrespect you, and sometimes even attack you. Each decision you make in this game will affect your honor rating. At certain points in the game, there will be scenes that show how your decisions have affected the city. Like in the first chapter, there is a scene where all the heads of families get together to decide on whether or not they should go to war with each other. At one point in the meeting, it's decided that someone must die to settle a score. When this happens, you are given 3 options. The first option is to volunteer to take the hit. The second is to let one of your own men take the hit. Or the third option is to let someone else from another family take the hit. The choice you make here will determine the amount of respect and honor you get from the other families. Let's say you choose to sacrifice one of your own men. Even though the other families may respect you for taking such an honorable hit, your own family will hate you for sacrificing them. The same goes for letting someone else take the hit. The other families may respect you for standing up for them, but the family that lost someone will hold it against you. If you choose to take the hit yourself, then the only consequence is that you lose a little bit of health. These consequences can add up, and if you lose too much honor, the game may end. The first chapter is called The Weight of the World. This game does a good job of showing you these consequences through the use of cutscenes. One of the most important aspects of being a mob boss is being able to manage your money. In order to own all these businesses, you will need men to protect them. The entire city of Chicago is open to explore from the very beginning throughout the game, and you will meet a lot of characters that will try to persuade you to help them with their problems. There isn't much of a tutorial in this game. Now let's talk about the graphics. For a game that came out in 2002, I think the graphics hold up pretty well. Let's talk about the story now. Honestly, I think the story is decent. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's fun to play through. There are a total of 5 chapters in this game, and each one gets harder than the last. So overall, I think this game is fun, but it isn't perfect. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching.